Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Hope we meet you well. Okay, our guest this morning is Dr. Jonathan Onoja, security expert and policy analyst. A fine morning to you, Dr. Onoja.
Good morning to you, Uncle Yori.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you for having me on your program again.
Our pleasure. You know, the surprise that it would have surprised most people when they heard on the beginning of the week, Monday, that bandits have abducted 40, no less, 40 in a Zamfara mosque. What does this say to you? The matter is getting worse. It doesn't seem as if it's being contained. These non-state actors terrorizing society.
All right, thank you, Uncle Yori. Honestly, it is a saddening moment for all of us, especially from the north. When we received that report of the 40 persons abducted from the mosque, one thing that came to my mind immediately, that crossed my mind was, we don't even need to worry for too long, because the governor, His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawa, who has told us in the previous weeks that he knows the whereabouts of the bandits in his state, should just, go there and bring these 40 persons.
Yes.
Honestly, because it's quite unfortunate and it's so glaring that the governor is complicit in nature. And of course, we already know that a lot of things are happening across the state when it has to do with, issues of security. The governors are they through to the cause? Are they not also involved in the issues of insecurity in the state? So when I hear people talk about abduction or something, there's an adage in my place where I come from that tells you that if you send a dog with a meat, the dog is not expected to eat the meat anymore. Yes, we know that the nature of a dog is to eat meat, but then when you send the dog, call the dog and said, I'm sending you with this meat, go and deliver. The dog is not expected to eat that particular meat. It's forbidden for that dog to eat that meat. But in a situation where people elected a governor, regardless, to come and protect them, even if you are the top kingpin, once you are elected into an office, it is expected that you are to protect the people, regardless of your affiliations. This is a governor who told Nigerians that he knows the whereabouts of bandits in the state just weeks after 40 persons are kidnapped. As I speak to you this morning, Uncle Yori, almost all the villages and local governments in Zamfara state are under siege. And we have been told before that the bandits in Zamfara state are in government house. Just a month ago, the state assembly says they don't have, absolute trust in the leadership of the governor. This statement alone should send signal to the federal government. And now I'm calling on His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to look at the issues of insecurity in Zamfara state, because it's becoming too glaring that what is killing the beans lives right there in the beans. And so the state assembly has called on the federal government to come and take charge on the state, take responsibilities of the security of the state by way of coming in to take away the governor. But I want to further say that it will be better done if the state assembly can look at the lacunas and the ineptitude of the governor to serve him impeachment notice. Because the lives of the 40 persons that are in abduction now is more than the life of any governor in Nigeria. It's more than the life of the governor of Zamfara state. And so you cannot continue to tow with the sensibility of the people. Every day you look for excuses, how the issues of security is not just within the purview of the state government. But there's no way, there's no time you have refused to take allocation of security votes, since you know you don't have the capacity to manage the state security. There's no time he has said that he won't be able to manage the state. So the governor himself is complicit. And because of the complicit nature of the governor in the state, it makes it very difficult for even the security agencies in the state to work.
Okay.
So we are looking at a situation where the governor will freely hand himself over to authorities for proper investigation if he's not also involved in the issues of banditry in the state.
Okay, you know, until you restated the point quite strongly in the past, few seconds, I was going to ask you that you said that the governor, Daouda Lawal, was complicit. I was going to ask if you were speaking advisedly, because how can a governor himself be complicit, be cooperating with people who are doing his own citizens harm? Citizens under his watch.
Uncle Yori, let me remind you, just weeks before the adoption of the 40 persons in Tube village of Kafe local government,
yes,
of Safi local government, we heard from a former governor of Kaduna State, His Excellency, former Governor Nasiru El-Rufai. We were told that there's a national policy coordinated from the office of the then National Security Advisor, and that as part of that policy was for them to feed the bandits, was for them to even give the bandits, houses and pay them. Who knows if this is also another aspect of his own policy from the Zamfara state governor? Who knows? I mean, this is a statement of fact that is coming from a former governor. And nobody has come to debunk that. We're not looking at that as a mere statement of an opposition to the current government. We are talking about a governor, a former governor, who came out to tell you that this is a policy, and it was part and parcel of that policy, feeding the bandits in the state. Now, this is also another governor from Zamfara State, that came and told you that he knows the whereabouts of the bandits in the state. Come on, Uncle Yorin, look. You can't continue to toll on the sensibilities of Nigeria. We have gone past this level. There was an allegation from the civil society groups, the Situation Room War Against Banditry, that told us that the bandits in Zamfara State is in the Zamfara State government house. Can't you now confirm that there's from the confession of the current governor, La Dauda, confirm that story, that truly the bandit is in Zamfara State government house and they shouldn't look further? If you know the whereabouts of the bandits in your state, why has it taken this so long for you to bring them to book? At this point, it is expected that the governor should have pointed them, called their names, let us know who are those people. If his name also is not going to feature on the list, as it is now, it's my number one suspect. It's a prime suspect in the issues of insecurity in Zamfara State, because we remember that insecurity was one of the things he used as a bane of campaign during his time. And it was on that premise that he was given that mandate. So if what he used as a campaign, as a bait for the governorship election in the years past, and up to this time, nothing has been done, I think freely he should be impeached, or freely he should even leave office.
Okay.
And right now, even the state security architecture cannot do anything because the governor is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. He's a commander-in-chief. When it comes to the state level, he's a commander-in-chief. He's the chief security officer of the state. So if we have nothing to do and continue to cry to the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in Abuja all the time, then I think the commander-in-chief should assume the responsibility of taking over the state right now.
Okay.
I'm also going to make reference to the issues of River State at this point. I think all we can see now is scam in River State. You are a journalist. You must have seen what is happening in River State. So I think these are the issues a method we're supposed to begin to adopt to restore normalcy to some of the states that we have seen the complicity nature of some of the governors. So I'm advising His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to swing into action now, because what is happening in Zamfara State seems to be seems to be the governor not understanding his game as he's playing it, because obviously it's opened, and then we can see that, yes, what the governor is saying is different from what he's doing. The governor is not actually concerned about the security of the people. He's actually concerned about his allies. He's concerned about his affiliations about these people. So if he's not having a concern about his allies, why is it taking this so long for him to tell us who are behind banditry in Zamfara State? Almost all the villages, almost all the local government is under siege.
Yeah.
People are being killed every day.
One moment, sir. Let me bring on Mr. Ono, calling in from Ikotun. in Lagos here. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Yomi.
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Your program is wonderful. I always listen to it.
Thank you
but
very much,
I want to say something which is germane to what we are discussing.
Okay.
You see, it surprises me that after 60 years of independence, Nigeria can be dancing around, particularly on the issues of insecurity. Because, tell me, the gentleman who just spoke has succinctly hit it on the nail. The Zamfara governor says he knows where the bandits are. Let me tell you, the insecurity in Nigeria will not be removed, will not stop until you run a proper federation in terms of security. Nigeria is a federation. Don't forget there are governors that have executive power on their states. And these governors don't control security. And we are running a presidential system. We are in a democracy. Politics can be extended to anything. Let me tell you, politics can be extended to any level. And insecurity that is happening in Nigeria is part of the politics. Let the president take the bull by the horn, create state police, and let the responsibility for security be in the hands of the governors. So when anything is happening in your state, we ask you, what are you doing?
Okay. Okay.
They must have state police. So long as we continue to avoid the issue of the subnationals having security powers over their areas, the security in Nigeria will continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Honor, for calling in. And, well, I think sort of promisingly, the president himself, no less, has said that the time for state police is now. So the president has thrown his weight behind the whole idea. It just requires for it to be worked out. But we have the #1 citizen who is firmly in support of it. Now, Dr. Onoja, let me come back to you. Okay, we've heard people speak on this matter. I wanted to ask you, especially your outrage, the outrage that you expressed, it brings up the other matter of negotiating with bandits, robbers, ne'er-do-wells. There have been those who have, adopted the moral position that you never, negotiate with those kind of people. Some people have had that attitude but then have changed. I wonder what you think. An example of that is El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna, El-Rufai, who at one time, you'll recall, was fully engaged, thinking that there was succor in that direction. But then he was later to swear it off, say no way anymore. What do you think about this whole idea of negotiating with bandits?
Negotiations can come in different concepts. And so what sort of negotiations? I mean, what same community, what same society? Which same society negotiate with terrorists? What is a concept of this negotiation we talk about? Negotiation with a known criminal, like the Zamfara state governor knows the criminals and the bandits like he claimed, and he has been in ties with them. It's funding terrorism. That is not negotiation. It's funding terrorism because the money they get, either through the our security votes, who knows? Because if security votes are not utilized for the purpose of security, it also can be used for the purpose of insecurity. So we don't negotiate with bandits as a way to end insecurity. No. You negotiate with the current needs of the people. Identify the challenges of the people. Engage the people, not on criminal grounds, not people that are already being engaged, killings, and then living in the forest. What sort of negotiation? Like they have been doing. When you want to talk about negotiation to yield result, like the former governor of Zamfara State did, gentlemen, let's come on board. What are the problems? Identify the root cause. What are the issues? Illiteracy, bring out education, free education. Joblessness, engage the youth. Where the people feel that there's an upward shift and that the government is not representing them in the true sense of representation and governance is not meeting the people the way it's up to, address those issues. Who are those that needs to be empowered? Empower them. These are some of the things that the former governor of Zamfara State did, and there was relative peace in the state. Where are the youth? Engage them. Some motorcycles, at least they can go about. Some, they use keke napep. Some were sent to schools. Some were on the payrolls of the government in terms of, as a way of empowerment. And some were giving free, some were even giving free education. So when these issues were, resolved, they have relative peace. And then there was even this neighborhood approach that they were able to identify those that were a threat among them. And so because they know that they are enjoying the benefit and the dividends of democracy, when you want to engage in any criminal forms, they report it to authority. But when the current governor came on board, all these measures were relaxed. And we have, when people are jobless, people in school were sent out of school, and they cannot pay the school fees anymore. These are people that were being paid, that were under the government skills before, and they have no other ways again. Prostitution, stealings, criminalities, banditries, all of them on the rise, and that's not give room to what has happened. Okay. Perhaps the governor knows what happened then. But then, talking about negotiation in this own concept, what Nasiru El-Rufai did was not negotiation. Is a way of funding terrorism. And just like the former National Security Advisor told us, unfortunately that never happened, that they were going to release the names of the sponsors of terrorism in Nigeria until he left office. Yeah. The over 400 sponsors of Boko Haram and all of that he promised he was going to release never happened until he left office. We may have seen the names and the likes of El-Rufai on that list because he targeted a national policy that they were now feeding bandits, negotiating with bandits. So we need, as a people, we need that the people need to come up with our concept to call a spade a spade. We cannot say they are negotiating and hiding under the concept of negotiation while they are funding their business. Because, insecurity, like a federal lawmaker have told us, is a cash cow business. So we can't hide under concept of negotiation while we are funding our businesses.
I just thought I should point out that you've spoken quite strongly, quite forcefully, but these are your impressions, your opinions. When you say that someone like Dauda Lawal is actually funding, these terrorists and bandits, and you made you levied the same charge to, against. You laid the same charge against former Governor Nasir El-Rufai. Unfortunately, they can't speak for themselves, but I just have the notion that if they could speak to this very moment, they would deny being sponsors of terrorism. But I leave that to one side. We'll talk about it a bit more. Let me bring on someone who is on the phone. Tony in Jos wants to join this conversation. Good morning, Tony.
Hello.
Good morning, Tony. Go ahead, Tony.
My brother, how are you?
Good morning, Tony. Are you listening? Are you listening through your phone set? Please don't listen via your television.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's only that you know that money is hard to come by now.
Go ahead, Tony. You're on air right now.
Well, it's just unfortunate that you can still be talking of insecurity from the time of Umar Musa Yar'Adua up to this moment. Do you think this insecurity would have happened during Obasanjo's time? Is it not when Obasanjo handed over to Umar Musa Yar'Adua we started seeing this insecurity? Isn't it? For how long will we be talking about this insecurity? I see this issue because if people work for the money they use in servicing their state, if they work for the money they use in carrying projects from their state, from every state, they will be very serious. just because every month everybody runs to Abuja to collect allocation and to collect funds from federal government. Money you don't work for. So why do you think there will be lawlessness? Why do you think somebody, a sitting governor will be saying that he knows where the bandits are? Well, if you know where the bandits are, why can't you take the security men to that place? For God's sake.
I hear you. I just hope...
if you don't know where
Tony,
the bandits are, it's a different thing.
I hear you.
A governor has confirmed, that governor of Zamfara, that young man has confirmed that he knows where they are.
Well,
why can't he take the security men to the place?
I hear you, sir.
Take them off.
I hear you, Tony. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call in, Tony. You know, I think we just want to be careful here. Whereas we allow people, you know, on the station to, you know, express their convictions, we also have to be careful because when we're speaking about this kind of a thing, nobody wants to get sued. To be saying, you see, I just hope, in the case of Dadalawa, I just hope that he wasn't politicking when he made that statement. But he has made the statement. He is being quoted, you know, verbatim on a statement that you made. So it's up to him. It's nobody. He made that statement. But I wouldn't be surprised if either of the two people that we have mentioned this morning, that Dr. Onoja, well, I mentioned El Rufai, he mentioned the other guy. Both those guys will vigorously protest that how can you say I'm a sponsor of terrorists and bandits? That's on the one hand. Let me quickly add this so that I don't have to ask it as a separate question. We've heard that it's a very difficult thing to say you're negotiating with all these bandits because the negotiations that you're carrying on here do not affect the next state to the north, the next state to the south, the next state to the east or to the west. There's no central command so that what you negotiate here holds. Aren't we in something of a security mess, which one viewer has just expressed in his own way differently? Say, how are we still talking about insecurity at this time in our national development?
All right, thank you, Uncle Yori. Let me remind you that just yesterday or so, a day before yesterday, there was a negotiation that never ended well in Katsina State. Right,
yes,
you saw the young man came out with his men, you know, broad daylight, you saw him. The government cannot claim that they don't know the people. They don't know the whereabouts because they spoke with people. It was based on an agreement that meeting held yesterday. So it is a known arrangement. People are talking with these people, right? So it is not a new thing for us seeing them coming together. But one thing I have come to realize recently is that not like in the past administration, when some persons even go to the forest, go with the army or with the police to go and pay homage to these guys in the name of visiting them for negotiations, like we have been seeing in the past administration. So I have my conviction that a governor who will come out on a national television to tell you and I that he knows the whereabouts of people in the state should be able to produce them. If those people have his wife or his children in 24 hours, he will produce those people. He has his technicalities. They know themselves. So if he knows these people, the people as well knows him. So he knows those people and they know themselves. So they should discuss peacefully and let their business not affect the safety and security of the people of Zamfara State, because enough is enough.
But it's not working.
We cannot continue to trade the lives of our people in exchange for our bargains.
Okay.
How long do we continue? Like the caller talked about the issues of security votes.
Yes.
I think it is a necessity for an investigation into the use of the security vote. Is the security vote actually used for the purpose of security, or is it used to trigger or sponsor insecurity? Because when we talked about...
sorry again.
When we talk about giving money to bandits, it's not
Ibrahim in Mina is waiting to join us. So sorry to have interrupted you. Good morning, Ibrahim in Mina.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir. Please go ahead.
Please, when we are talking about insecurity in this country, it's unfortunate that it is not restricted to just a place, a state. And the pattern of insecurity is equally, it varies from one location to another. I wouldn't want your guests there to be too emotional and be too specific. Why? Because in the past, this insecurity, before this, I don't know this governor, before he became governor, you have Mahmoud Shekafe, you have Abdul Aziz Abubakar Yare, you have Bello Watawali. All of them within this, except Ahmed Sani Yerima, almost from all of them, you have the issue of insecurity coming, handing over from one person to another. So that we can get a quick solution and don't over-politicize it. Why I'm saying so, if the governor have come into the open and said he knows where the people are, just like every other governor has been crying that the issue of insecurity, it is in the hand of the federal government to manage because they don't have the tools of managing it. So what I had expected is very simple. The national advisor will come. You said this. You say you know this. Please show us a quiet thing. Show us where they are.
Okay.
The tools used to locate them.
Yeah.
You show us so that we can follow it up quietly. It's not that we follow it up. It is only when you now refuse to say, I will show you, that you can now come in and say, because
okay.
Ndewo auto innovation. Ahambu Ndewo auto innovation. Ahambu Obada Samson Ejiro.
And Hausa. Mutane na sanar da zuwa suna na Raki Abdulkarim kuma kana kallon TVC News.
We are bringing the news closer to you. Faster, smarter, and always reliable. And together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Okay, welcome back. Our guest is Dr. Jonathan Onoja. He's a security expert as well as a policy analyst. So, Dr. Onoja, the point that was made by the last caller is that, look, as you have said, and other people have said, when the governor, Daud Alawa, when he went and made the statement, I hope he knew what he was talking about and wasn't just politicking in the, build up to the election that, look, I can sort this problem out. I know where these people are. We are going to rout them as soon as I come in. Well, those words have now come home to roost. If he had been politicking with his people and to the electorate at the time, well, unfortunately, now is the time. So what do you think? You've been quite angry and, quite righteously angry that this man said this. So let him now produce, are you sure he wasn't politicking when he was saying all that he was saying, that we are all now grabbing as a handle?
Well, if it is politics, Kyori, then you see, it's quite unfortunate. But from the antecedents of this very young governor, I don't think it's politics. I think it's maybe divine intervention for that confession.
Okay.
Because most of these things that are done, not until they leave office, we don't know. Like the last caller talked about issues of to be emphatical and all of that. I mean, how best can we describe the situation when a man tells you he knows the whereabouts of people, but he can't provide the people? Then the other way, in another round again, we need to look at the issues of the security votes he talks about. or that the people should go and ask him question, and then when he fails to produce the people, that's when they can then call him complicit. No, already he's complicit. The only thing that is expected is that the State Assembly should serve in an impeachment notice, and also should serve the House of Reps or the Senate or the National Assembly, the joint session, to say that, look, gentlemen, there's a problem in our state. I think we need an emergency rule in my state to enable them to restore normalcy. But the governor cannot be in office and then expect the TP, the Commissioner of Police, and all of these guys to work. They can't work effectively because the governor is still going to complicate things for them. Since he claims to be the chief security officer of the state, he should be able to act. I mean, what are the architectures? It's the same police that we have in Abuja. That is the same police we have in Zamfara state. If you see a policeman that is well polished in Abuja, perhaps he has a very good principal that has maybe help him to go and get a new uniforms and look good. So what we need to do to boost their capacity in the state is to release the funds to provide security. If the funds is not used for the purpose of security, like I earlier mentioned, it's going to be used for insecurity. So what they are using the funds for, we don't know, because we have not seen where the police are mobilized. Nobody is even moving around the state. You know the whereabouts of the bandits. You don't even say, gentlemen, let's move there. If it is a helicopter, helicopters have been serving foods, giving bandits food in their various locations. But you're not able to even procure a helicopter for them to go, attack these guys. It shows the complicit nature of the governor himself. We talk about security vote. Security votes is for the purpose of security. Now, what is the difference between the governor and a contractor who receives money, knowing full well that sometimes there may be sun, sometimes there's going to be rain, that he does not have control over this natural, phenomena, and then he collects the money to construct the road, and the road is not done. What is the difference between the governor who receives security vote for the purpose of security but cannot provide security for these people? Utilize the security vote and mobilize the state security architecture to help them provide security. What is the difference between this person who is going to be charged, the contractor who is going to be charged, prosecuted for issues that may be criminal breach of trust and all of that? Already is a breach of public trust on the governor. It's a gross, misconduct and ineptitude on the part of the governor that he could not provide security for the people because he's the chief security officer of the state. If he claims he has no security command on security architecture in the state, I want to assure you that from 2026, if he's still going to be in office at that time, because I don't see the need for him to be in office. Okay. These are governors that are going to go around and begin to campaign for votes that they are going to provide this, provide that, assuring you of security. So once there is a breach, that public trust is breached, then I think it's not qualified to be in such office. The State Assembly.
Let me bring in. Sorry, sir. I beg your pardon. I really apologize for interrupting you, but that's because we have Mohammed in Kaduna on the line. You know the nature of our program. Good morning, Mohammed.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Very well, thank you. Please go ahead.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine, thank you. Go ahead.
Uncle Yori, please, your guest there, who is a security expert, should know that the commissioner of police in the state does not take orders from the governor. That's number one. The commissioner of police in the state does not take orders from the governor. He takes his order from Abuja. Likewise, the GOC, General Officer Commanding, the governor is incapacitated. If the governor said he knows the whereabouts of bandits, it's not left for even the security personnel that are on the field. They know the whereabouts of these bandits. But they have not been given order or the directive to go and take the necessary steps to curb this menace. This is what I want him to know. It should be fair enough to the governor. The governor said this, and let the security people, the security personnel, let them go after him and let them go and meet and do the needful on this issue. This guy has been trying, and he said he was not going to negotiate with any bandit. He said he doesn't believe in it. Even the one they did in Pascari, the one he was saying a while ago, that bandits went to the negotiation table with ammunition, weapons in front of our military. saying they were doing a negotiation. Is that negotiation? That is not negotiation. And they left them to go away with those ammunition away after sitting down. This man is trying and is trying enough. This banditry has been on ground before its emergence. This man came on board and said he was not going to do. Also, that he was saying that there was bandits in the government house. That was in the past administration, not this administration. He's not from Zamfara. That is from Zamfara. I'm talking now that he should come to Zamfara and emphasize what he said and let him come and prove it. The previous administration was the one opposing bandits in the government house. This man said he was not going to negotiate and he's not ready to negotiate. So he should please be fair to Governor Lawal. Lawal is on the right track and is doing his best on this matter. Let the federal government come on board and let the security men do the needful.
Okay.
The security men knew where these people are. They are not being given the mandate to go and fight. That's
okay.
The only thing.
I hear you, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed, calling in from Kaduna. You see, Dr. Noja, I think the point that Mohammed brought up can be addressed. You know, I think it can be addressed. That is to say, you could comment on this because, okay, let's just say that the governor is not given to speaking carelessly. No governor should be given to speaking carelessly. So let's say there was an iota of fact in what he was saying. The next level, as Mohammed has just pointed out, is that, look, the governor doesn't have any control over the, commissioner of police, the inspector general of police, the army people. So why were those people quiet, reticent? Why did they not take him up on the super intelligence? They tell us, see something, say something. Now, no less a person than the governor has said what he has said. Why was it not picked up? Why was that what is it now? It's an asset, it's a clue, it's intelligence, even though it was publicly said. What are your understandings? Because we also had this frustration during the Buhari era. Go ahead, sir.
Uncle Yori, you see, insecurity is a problem, and security is a solution. The last caller seems to be adding to insecurity. I think for us to be fair to the governor in a way is to first return all the security votes he has received from the federal government since assumption of office. I think that's one part to be fair to him, because that means that all that he has collected was not for the purpose of security, because insecurity has grown, dramatically from when he took over, I think ×3 than what it was. Yes, we know that insecurity
or whatever he has been doing with the security vote, continuing your theme of being fair to the governor, has not yielded expected fruits.
No, because whatever he's doing with the security vote that is not effective, that we are not seeing, should be questioned. I have given an instances here that you can't contract a builder and the builder know with the time frame and for the purpose which you are giving the builder the money is for to build a house. And the house is not built. The purpose for the security vote is for security. And the people of Zamfara State, since he assumed office, has experienced insecurity. All the local government, the 40 local government are under siege. All the local government are under siege. This is the worst we have ever experienced. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, I am saying again that for us to be fair again to him, is for him to voluntarily put himself on the position of, avoid the immunity clause and let it be investigated. Let that statement be investigated. We talk about command control structure. Command control structure that people are taking commands, taking advice, taking order from Abuja. I have my reservation on that. Most of these governors, I give you an instance in Benue State. In less than an hour of protesters, this is governors that tell you they don't have control over commissioners of police in this and the GOCs in the state. But in less than 1 hour, this command is not from Abuja. It's from the state. The police dispersed peaceful protesters that came to protest against the Yelwata killings. If you think that commands are coming from Abuja, let there be, a peaceful protest to the government house in Zamfara State. From the gate, peaceful protesters, the families of the victims of the abducted 40 persons from the mosque will be killed. This is not going to be from Abuja. It's going to be from the state.
Okay.
When we want to continue our evil in office, we use the disparities of Abuja. But when there are problems that we need to solve, we will not solve the problem.
Okay. So I hear what you're saying. That horse won't jump is what you're
Abuja.
saying. Those who are speaking, against about what you're saying that that horse won't jump. You don't believe in it for one moment. Let me bring in Mazi Okoroafo.
I don't believe.
Mazi Okoroafo, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sayori. Sayori, honestly speaking, there's something I want us to look at. I don't know why human beings, with the level of criminality, don't have respect for God. You don't have respect for worship centers. It's very, very disheartening. How can you go to a worship center, a worship place, where everybody honor the Almighty God, our Creator, to go and start doing that business of criminality, whether anything may call it? But the question is this, honestly, our religious leaders, they have a lot to do. Our traditional leaders, they have a lot to do. Not everything they say, government, federal government, state government, local. No. Parents, what are you doing? Where is your child? Parents, there was a program they used to do in the NTA in those days, other 70s, 80s. They would say, when the guy comes, different police on that, they say, Madam, Oga, where is your child? You should know the first 27 where your child is every day. Because if you don't know, when he or she join all this criminal gang, you do, before you talk about everything, he has gone here. Honestly speaking,
okay.
I'm just going on all those criminals, no matter whatever they may call them. Respect God, because whatever you acquire, one day, vanity upon vanity, all vanity. Good morning, sir. You have a blessed day in Lagos.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okoroafo. So, Dr. Noja, what are your suggestions? Especially, you haven't addressed the question. Maybe I myself, the way I've been interrupting you, I might have been, distracting you. This whole question of there's no unity of command with all these non-state actors, these robbers, these terrorists, these bandits. You're dealing. You say you're negotiating or dealing with them in Zamfara. The Kaduna people, they're not bound by whatever you have said. Whatever was decided over there. The same thing goes for other states surrounding them. We have a challenge, but the police, the president has said that he is entirely, fully behind the idea of state police. So maybe we just have to be patient a bit. But is that not a complication? The fact that dealing with a set of bandits in Zamfara, for example, maybe doesn't affect the bandits who are operating in some other states surrounding them?
Yes, let me first answer your first question. I think the reason why it's not binding is because they were perhaps engaged on various grounds. Maybe the bandits in Kaduna years past were brought in to perhaps dislodge a former president. And then maybe whatever they agreed with, just saying, may have not agreed, may not have binded with those in Zamfara State. And again, those in Zamfara State, when also they look at the negotiation terms not meeting up, perhaps maybe someone contracted them for the purpose of dislodging a government, an administration. And when that happened, it's also his inability to go back and say, guys, let's settle this on a very good cause. So the deal is done, let's go back. Perhaps it has been neglected. I give you, a very practical example. Why do we talk about armed prolifications at the local communities in these days? Because the youths who are engaged during elections, giving all sorts of arms to defend a particular politician just to get power. The moment the politician gains power and is in office, he will abandon them. These arms are also used eventually for killings, kidnappings, and the banditry. That's when we begin to see them. The arms that they are procuring, you and I will not go and spend millions in procuring AK-47. Right, so it is those that have the capacity that have been procuring the arms for them. But unfortunately, when they get into office, they forget their bargain. And that's why, that's why the issues of insecurity has been. So again, you must look at the peculiarities of insecurity in the various states. Maybe what Lagosians will understand as insecurity is traffic. Do you understand? What they understand as, insecurity is traffic. Or perhaps it's just people picking people from the road. And then they can say, what can we do to reduce these issues of insecurity? Last man. Or other issues that can come on board. That is their own insecurity they are dealing with. Right. There could be someone broke into somebody's shop and then the person stole some milk and all of that. That happened maybe often. But then we're talking about the larger picture of what the insecurity could be viewed at. And again, maybe when you get to Abuja, what could be insecurity is maybe no good roads. They have to dualize the roads to make sure that there's no traffic. These are issues of insecurity. If you come to the Federal Capital Territory today, in Abuja, the area one side have been barricaded with barbed wires so that criminals who may eventually, potential criminals who are going to carry somebody's phones, snatch somebody's bags, to jump to the other side, may not be able to trespass. These are also issues of insecurity that have been taken care of. So the various states who may have identified their insecurity should have been able to, go to where the issues of insecurity, arises from, and then squander it and then scratch it there. But because perhaps they're also part and parcel of it, it makes it very difficult for them to solve. So that is the issues of the peculiarities of the insecurities in the various states. So when you discuss with bandits in Katsina, it cannot bind with the bandits in Zamfara, because the person that brought them or contracted them in Zamfara may not be the person that contracted them in Katsina. And then what led to the issue of insecurity of banditry in Zamfara may not be the issue that led to the issue of banditry in Katsina. So we must identify, and the state must identify their problems and solve the problems the way it ought to be. Like I have mentioned, most times when these guys are brought in and their problems are solved, because a time we were told that some of those guys came from Mali. If you have forgotten, I remind you that there are times in this country where we were told that the bandit leaders, most of these guys were contracted from Mali, and we begin to see international interest in some of the things. We talked about all of that. So it could be that the people that contracted them eventually fall out with them. And that is why the case became too very complex to solve. So now, unfortunately, like I've said, the people that even brought them are now claiming, claiming sense that they know their whereabouts and that they don't even know how to solve the problems. We talk about the state police, which I want to answer.
Well, you don't know that the governor brought them, because you've just said the people that brought them are now claiming that they know where they are at. It implies that you are saying, well, Daouda Lawal.
That's your statement. That's your statement. It's your statement, please. Like I mentioned earlier, the issues are straight and we can see it. You know the whereabouts of people, and you can't go and point them to the security officers or security personnel to go and bring them out. So it's already a known fact that the governor knows them, and I believe that they also know the governor. So they know themselves. That's my position.
Okay.
And at this point, my appeal before I finally answer your question is that the governor should, like one of your callers said, that they should fear God. I think the governor should have respect for God and the people that he claims he knows, and I believe that the people knows him too. They should please have their settlement as they used to, or the settlement the best way they can settle themselves, and release these innocent 40 worshippers. Because at the end of the day, we will all give account for the lives that we all govern. So answering your other question about the state police,
very briefly, please. Sorry, doctor. Very briefly. We have about 45 seconds left. Go ahead, sir, yes. But very briefly. Like 45 seconds left.
I was in your studio here. We talked about the issues of state police. What is the state police? What is the essence of the state police? That the governor should have, absolute power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when this governor, there's no checks and balances in the state, they will even use the state police. They use a whole, they should fund it. If they are going to talk about state police, who do the funding? When the governor funds it, he will understand the pain that is attached to it. And I think that will reduce the issues of insecurity in the state. Because when you know that the money is coming out of your coffers, the government coffers in the state, you will understand that, yes, it is not really easy to fund terrorism. But it's very easy for them now because the money is coming from the CEC. The commander-in-chief of the armed forces is funding them. So every month, the money is coming. Like, they don't know what to do with the money. And so the best they can do is to use the money to also corrupt the security architectures in the state. So I doubt any governor in this country that says he has no control over the commander-in-chief, over the commissioner of police in the state. I doubt any governor who says that he has no influence on the security in the state. We see governors that even send security operatives to go and block state assemblies when there are issues. And this state governor does not have the capacity to send this personnel to go and dislodge bandits that they know their whereabouts. So
all right, Dr.
Nodia. The State Assembly will do justice.
We've got to leave it there.
The State Assembly will do justice to serve the governor impeachment on his gross ineptitude,
Dr. Jonathan
and his incapacity to manage the state security.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jonathan Onoja, for a very, very...
Thank you, Dr. Yori, for having me.
Me? I'm still working at it. But thank you very much. Security
I
expert.
I'm a prophet now, so we can see it.
And policy
so
analyst.
I believe you will tell the governor too that I think there's need for him to actually relinquish the office.
Thank you very much.
A more credible individual to manage it.
Thank you very much for coming on the program. Our guest has been Dr. Jonathan
Thank you for having me once again.
We're going to have to leave it there. Do please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.